Okay, I'm an asshole because I poured yours too fast and it got a lot of head. And then I noticed and was like, I'll pour mine more slowly.
You learn from your mistakes.
Ooh, I like this. That's hoppy.
Okay, I like that a lot. So what was the first hop that you said was in it?
Sultana.
Sultana. So I don't love Simcoe and Citra, so I must really like Sultana. Do you have a booger on my nose?
No, I was itching my nose.
Oh, I thought you were like trying to like be like, hey, you got a boog over there.
I would say, Sarah, you have a bat in the cave. Pull it out.
Not a great time for bat jokes.
That's a good segue into my case, actually.
Bat jokes?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Wait, this beer though.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
It's really good. I don't have much to say about it.
It's good. It's hoppy.
It's a little hazy.
It's hoppy. That's beery. If you don't like IPAs, you wouldn't like it.
Yep, you won't like it. But if you do, it's delicious.
That's all you need to know.
It's very much reminds me of the beach.
Yeah, it's super hoppy.
Let's hop into it.
So I am going to tell you about Danvers State Hospital.
I don't know it.
AKA the inspo for Arkham. Hence the bat segue. Do you know what Arkham is?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Okay. I was going to leave.
You just throw down your headphones.
This podcast is finished. Batman is my favorite superhero.
Is he?
Yeah. Who's yours?
Well, this won't surprise you, but I don't really watch or read superhero material.
That wasn't my question. Do you like any of them?
I like Spider-Man.
Ugh.
What? Spider-Man's cool.
Spider-Man is stupid.
Spider-Man got better vision.
I just pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, Spider-Man got better vision when he got bit. That's my dream.
You're stupid.
Okay, you sit on a web of lies.
No, that's you. Okay, my sources. All that's interesting.
Was it by...
It's by William DeLong.
Okay.
DanversStateHospital.org. I got a bunch of info from there. New York Times, an article from 1988 by Susan Deisenhouse.
Oh, that's a terrible name. Deisenhouse?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's...
Deisenhouse. Oh my God, that's terrible.
That's really terrible.
Maybe it's Deisenhouse? We'll go with Deisenhouse.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Sorry, Suze. A website called Mad in America, an article by Catherine Anderson. Ghostly Activities, a site, article by Jacob Rice. Historyofmassachusetts.org and the Gotham Archives.
Oh, the Gotham Archives. Cute.
It's not cute. Batman is cute.
Yeah, come on. Hey, I got a reference. Give me something, Caitlin.
Okay. I'm going to tell you the story and history of Danvers State Hospital in Massachusetts. And like I said, the inspo behind Arkham Asylum. And the cool thing, and we'll have to post a picture of this, when you look at Danvers, so like the newer Batman movies, Arkham is like looks just like Danvers.
Really?
But what's really cool too, and I'll get into more of the inspiration behind it, but when you look at
the bird's eye view,
yes, like from above, Danvers looks like a bat with its wings open. Like the way the buildings are laid out, you have your main building and then the buildings go out and it literally looks like a bat. When you look at,
I can't imagine that was intentional.
Well, this was way before Batman, but
yeah. No, they came up with Batman even.
No. So construction of Danvers started in 1874. This
Whoa.
is old. I'm taking you back.
Take us back.
It was completed in 1878 on May 1st, and the first patient was admitted on May 13th of 1878 when it first opened as the State Lunatic Hospital at Danvers.
Oh, I don't love that name.
Me neither. That's what it's called.
That's a pretty terrible name.
Yeah. It's a large, beautiful building, but creepy as fuck.
Like Willowbrook.
Yes.
Gorgeous building.
And the Arkham Asylum and Batman.
Yes. All of the above.
All of the above. To add to the creepiness, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Danvers is built on the same plot of land that John Hawthorne, judge during the Salem witch trials, lived a few hundred years ago. The hill that Danvers is built on is called Hawthorne Hill.
Did anyone else get chills at home? Raise your hand. You won't feel weird because you're the only one at home.
Everyone just raised their hands.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
You guys. We have ESPN. Danvers was built to be completely self-sustaining. It had its own reservoir. Like everything you needed could be there. Like it was literally built to be like its own self-sustaining like town almost.
It sounds like the intentions were good.
They actually were, and I'll get more into that. It was built the same reason all asylums were back then, as a place to house people with psychological issues. And like we talked about in your story, back then it was, but like we as a society believed that people with mental health problems need to be housed apart from the general population, like kind of hidden away. Thank you.
I did a thumbs down and a fart sound. What happened over here?
Thank you for the fart sound.
You're welcome.
And that they needed to be treated or cured in these special made facilities.
Yeah.
So at first, Danvers was actually very successful and seen as very successful at housing and curing the mentally insane. By 1900, they had treated, air quotes, over 9,500 patients.
Wow.
Like in and out.
Yeah.
They only could hold up to 450. So they had like brought patients in, helped them, and released them.
It was like a rotating door kind of.
Mm-hmm. Danvers was seen as the model example. Patients had nice rooms with courtyard views. They were fed well, like fresh vegetables. They got outside a lot, had fresh air, exercise. Danvers staff was really good at getting them to play different games. There were crafts like sewing, weaving baskets was one of the examples.
That's cute.
And Danvers also put emphasis on family interaction. So they actually encouraged people to come visit and interact. Like it really
That's
was
nice.
Successful at first.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, their really good reputation led to overcrowding, which is where their problems started. So the 450 max capacity building was soon at over 2,000 people. Fire hazard, like seriously.
And more than a fire hazard, like resource issues.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's self-sustaining and it's going great. But for 450 people, that is way less than 2,000.
Man, don't get greedy. That's what it is. Just don't get greedy.
Well, and it's like instead of building another facility modeled after Danvers and doing well, they were just like, send everyone there. Well, they can't sustain it. Like,
yeah, can't they just have Danvers franchises or something? Like, come on.
Yeah. And shit went downhill fast. Due to mass overcrowding and likely other issues, the living conditions just got worse and worse and worse. I wrote not all, but I put the space in between the O and the T. So I was like, why did I write no tall?
No tall people allowed.
Like trying to figure out. I wouldn't go. You would be there.
I'm not sure height is the only requirement for Danvers.
No. So conditions were super bad and there's way overcrowding. So they didn't even give all patients clothes. So patients are just literally forced to wander around naked.
So like Willowbrook's kind of.
Yeah, because they don't. They're like, oh shit, we only had 450 jumpsuits.
What is this, the Titanic institution version?
So not everyone's giving clothes. And they're obviously, like for obvious reasons, a lack of basic hygiene.
Yeah.
Patients are living in their own waste and filth. It's just, it's terrible.
That makes me feel very sad.
Yeah, I can't even imagine living in these conditions. Like yeah.
Well, and they got away with it because sometimes, the patients in a situation like this might not know, or they might not understand, or like they really need, they're vulnerable people a lot of the time and they need that support and they need that care from someone.
Right.
And they're easy to take advantage of sometimes.
Oh, yeah. They're absolutely. They're not people
people
who can often take care of themselves.
Yeah. Sometimes they can, but in these situations where they're living, that's not always the case.
Yeah. And the symptoms of patients, not shockingly, got worse, not better. Like before, where they were actually like doing like crafts and getting them to spend, they were doing helpful things and helping people build confidence. Like, they were just doing a lot of helpful things. Well, that obviously isn't, they don't have time or space or materials for that anymore. So patients are getting worse, not better. So doctors first are like, obviously they go into freak out mode. So their first way to solve this, they resort to shock therapy and straitjackets for almost all patients. Like this becomes the new norm. And this is also the 1900s. So morphine and opium are given out like fucking candy. Like,
oh, that's so sad.
This is back when like, oh, you have a headache? Here's some opium.
Yeah.
They being the hospital and the doctors thought that jolts of electricity would either A, alter their brain to make them better, or B, this part's fucked up. So they thought, okay, we'll give them electric shock therapy, like, right? And that might make them better. Or it'll at least scare them enough and they'll be so afraid to get shock therapy again that they'll literally be scared into behaving better.
That's not how illnesses work.
Right.
You have, not that this is the same thing, but like you have chicken pox. I'm going to scare you to pretend you don't have chicken pox.
Right.
Like that's what that means.
Someone with mental illness, it's not something they can switch on and off that you can scare them out of. Like it's something in their brain that's like, it's okay. There's treatments and like, it's just so fucked up the way we used to deal with this.
Yeah. It's not, they don't have the ability
No.
to make it happen or not happen.
Yeah, you can't scare them out of it. Like, it's not like, oh, you have schizophrenia. If I give you electric shock therapy, it'll either make it better or like you'll be too scared to have schizophrenia anymore. Like, that's not how it works. It's not the fucking hiccups, you assholes. Put that on a shirt.
They'll be like, but what is it? And you'll be like, shut up.
Can you imagine I go to the grocery store and my shirt just says, it's not the fucking hiccups, you assholes.
They're like, is it Rona? Like, Rona, is that you?
I saw a picture of a guy walking through like Costco and he looked really rough, but he had taped a sign to a shirt and it just said, I'm hungover, not sick.
I saw that too.
I felt that this morning.
Oh, quarantine, you filthy beast.
Okay. When patients misbehaved, quote unquote, which I hate fucking saying that because someone who, like, for example, has schizophrenia or some mental illness, they're not misbehaving. They're doing the only thing they know how to do. Like, they're acting like their brain is telling them to act. That's not misbehaving.
Yeah. No.
Fucking assholes. So when patients misbehaved, in their words, they were locked in rooms in straitjackets. Like straitjackets were like the new norm. Everyone got one. I'm picturing the Oprah meme, like, you will get a straitjacket. You get a straitjacket.
Can you imagine though, like,
no.
Caitlin and I both have suffered from either now or in the past anxiety, depression, things like that. And can you imagine if you had a panic attack or like a suicidal depression moment that you got a straitjacket in an isolated room?
Oh my God, no.
That would make it 1 million times worse, right?
I'm on anxiety medication and I have had panic attacks. And if someone, oh my God, I'm like... gonna have one thinking about it. Yeah. If someone put me in a straitjacket and locked, that would make it worse, not better.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're good. Deep breath.
Me out. They would forget about them for like date. Like, they had so many people, they would be like, oh shit, we put Bob in a straitjacket in a room like a week ago.
Have we checked in on him at all?
They just like forgot. Like, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but like patients would die because they would forget about them. They would lock them in a room and forget to bring them food or water. So they would just starve to death. Like, it's fucking horrible. When shock therapy failed for obvious reasons, they moved on. Okay. They moved on to lobotomies.
Oh no.
Which Sarah talked about on our medical themed episode.
Which was like, I don't know, 20 episodes ago.
Yeah. So I looked into it a little bit. I know you like covered it, but I want to cover this.
Yeah, go ahead and cover like a basic too. And if you guys do want to hear like the history of lobotomies, look back. Yeah. It's our medical cases episode.
Well, there's something specific to Danvers with lobotomies. Okay. So around 1939, doctors were searching for a fix, again, air quotes, to the overcrowding of insane asylums. I mean, hospitals, whatever. Like
they called them insane asylums.
I hate that.
Yeah. It's a terrible name.
And they thought, why not stick a stick in their brain and swirl it around?
Yeah, that seems like
essentially,
it would help.
There you go. That's your basic layman's terms of a lobotomy.
Just change it up.
Stick a stick in your brain and swirl it around.
But if you guys think we're joking, we're not. That's the information they had.
Yeah. But Danvers, now at 2,360 patients, remember their max is 450. They have more than a lot of times that.
They have more than math that.
You do that.
The math numbers are crazy.
No, just switch back on. I'm not going to do the math for you. Stop being lazy.
That's because you can't.
It's more than 100 times.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not, but okay.
More than 100%.
Yes.
Danvers now at 2,360 patients. So we're now in the year 1939. They had 278 deaths in the prior year. They were like, we could do lobotomies. Let's jump on that train. But what makes Danvers special is they are the birthplace. They are known as the birthplace of the prefrontal lobotomy, also called psychosurgery, also known as ice pick lobotomy. So in the prefrontal lobotomy, so when they first started doing lobotomies, they would go like through your skull. So it wasn't like, it's still fucked up, but that's not like, I'm going to say that's not as bad. That sounds terrible, but you'll see what I mean. So in the prefrontal lobotomy, the patient was put under just local anesthesia. Then the doctor.
Finally, I worried if we'd get one.
Thanks. The doctor would get to their brain with an ice pick like tool by going through their eye sockets.
Yeah.
So this was obviously not invented at it was like invented, but Danvers was like, us, like raise our hand, pick us, we'll do it. So they gave out prefrontal lobotomies left and right.
Yeah, the other lobotomies they would drill, which is also terrible, but they would drill like a small hole in through your skin, through your skull, and go into different parts of your brain, whereas this one just went through that eyeball.
Yeah.
Or like the inner corner of your eyeball. Yeah, they're all horrible.